Hello, and welcome to your warm-up session. These are 7 simple moves that you can do every day to get your body kind of warmed up and ready, or before dancing, and especially before workouts. So we start with our red band. We're bringing in front of us, get a little bit of tension here, and we do 10 up and overs at this pace. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You want to make sure that your arms are staying straight. If you got to get a little bit wider or hold something that's a little longer to make sure that your arms are straight, then do so. But the band should be plenty long. From here, we stand up again, making sure we bring our shoulder blades together. We go around. 1, 2. You're probably going to be hearing some creaking and cracking. That's totally fine. Totally normal, I promise. If it hurts, that's bad. If it's like above a 7, that's real bad. If it's like a 4, not so bad. 7, 8, 9, and 10. After that, we grab just a smaller section of our band, and then we bring it down. We pull apart, create some tension, and then we raise up, exhale. Inhale down for 10. Up to 90 degrees and back down. You see here, got my nice straight back. I'm engaging my glutes, keeping my butt nice and tight. You don't want to be like here all saggy ass. We want everything nice and taut. Now this can be a ton of tension, but it doesn't need to be a lot. I just want to make sure you're getting those 10 in and having some amount of pull. After that, we go into our floor part. We come here for our cat-cows. Very classic move, working on hip mobility and building structure into the spine. Deep breath, curl your hip, push your belly down. I like to pretend like it's filling with water. Arch the head. And then squeeze out, curling the hips, breathing, getting all the air out of your lungs, kind of like you're pressing through a tube of toothpaste. 10 here. You see him having this pausing. The pausing is so the muscle is really getting time under tension. Because time under tension is how muscle truly grows. Bam. That should be about 10, I think. From here, we move into our bird dogs. I extend my right hand, thumb up, kicking back my left leg, and balancing on the other 2 limbs. Fully exhaling and inhaling. Once again, thumb up, leg back, driving my toe to my knee. I'm not raising my leg up, I'm just kicking it back and lining it up with the rest of my spine. Take that full exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. One of the first things anyone really looking to get fitness into their life meets the master is their breath. One more time through. Pretty sure that was close to 10. Hard to count and to walk at the same time. Boom. From there, we're going to just do 10 body weight squats. For these, I recommend people do them in front of a chair so that they can get the good positioning, because a lot of people will do squats and they'll go down and up, and it's not a squat. A squat is engaging the glutes like you're sitting, like you're sitting down, and then driving through at the top, squeezing at the top. Down, up, 10 of these. Now, if you don't need the chair, because if you're confident, you're getting down to 90, pressing through. Down to 90, pressing through. The press through is where the real activation is. We extend the glutes. My feet are more than hip width apart. Driving up and pressing through. Boom. Boom. I think I got like 3 more here. And then finally, we have the elephant walk. This is to start lengthening the hamstrings. So you want to bend over, slight bend in the knees, as deep as you can go, and then pick one leg, and you want to do 15 extensions. One side. Nice. And as you do that, you want to just get lower and lower and lower until you're able to do these with your palms on the floor. And that's the warm-up. Bam! On to the next thing. This is your first warm-up. Here, we're working on chest, tissue in the back, full body with the deadlift, and then we're doing a banded sidestep for the adductors. Help round that ass. We first have the bear hug. We start by bringing the band around. We want it right at the low part of the scapula, like so. And then what I'm doing is I'm squeezing the band together and releasing. Squeezing and releasing. Let's see, I'm switching sides. We want to do this anywhere from 10 to 16 times. If the band is uncomfortable, might I suggest long sleeves, or at least short sleeves. Nice. And remember, here we want to be doing an exhale. Breathing out, feeling the tension, and releasing. I'm not like jerking around here. Next thing is a banded X. So we grab with some slack the band like so. And then what I'm doing is I'm holding it out in front of me, keeping my arms straight. And then I'm making an X across my body. Count each side, going back and forth as one. And the same thing here, trying to find somewhere where you're getting in between 10, 14, 16 of these. Now, if you're like getting to here and it's snapping back, add more line, because you want to be able to pull out, pause, and return. Pull out and pause, and then return. That's the first set. So you go back and forth between those two, 3 to 5 times. Or just once if you don't have a lot of time, you just gotta like get some movement in. Next set, banded deadlifts, super fun. We come here, I like to get my feet a little bit wider. Have my band set up like 2 handles. I sit down, pull my shoulder blades back, inhale, exhale up. Now I like to pull my hands around and get the band fully extended so it's a little more comfortable. And then all we're doing is inhaling down, exhaling through. And so on. That's about the pacing you're looking for. You can slow down with the lower, but you want the expression up to be nice and forceful. If you're feeling tweaking in your back, you want to watch yourself in the mirror and make sure you're not curling here and then arching your spine up. You want that spine to be flat and flat. And then finally, a banded sidestep. Ooh-wee. Take the band here and here. I cross it in front of me. I bring it up. And then what I'm doing is I'm going bam, 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 bam. Now you don't want to bring your feet all the way together, because if you do, what happens is it makes it really hard to get the band to go across. So you want to make sure you keep tension there. Get the band up. You can get these nice steps and walk from side to side. You can either do 2 steps one way, 2 steps the other way, or you can just go along a long distance of your house, pressing down the one side and then the other. You'll see here I'm in a bit of a squat, so I'm not standing up straight. I'm engaging my glutes a bit, side step, side step, side step, side step. Whew. And that is exercise 1 in the bag. And you just want to be feeling the engagement of the tissue. That's really what you're searching for. If you get through 3 and you're like, oh, I'm not feeling it in my chest, I'm not like feeling anything in my glutes, slow down. Take the breath, engage that tissue, really feel everything out, and you'll get the workout you're looking for. See you for the next one. Welcome back to round 2. This is a no band exercise routine. So put the band away, you don't need it. From here, we're doing world's greatest stretch. Then we're moving into side plank, hip abduction. And then from there, we're doing down dog toe touch. And then from there, walking lunges. Very straightforward, very good moves. So, world's greatest stretch. We come to the front of our mat. We step back. Windmill down next to our leg. We want to keep this nice and straight. I exhale. Out. Inhale down, drop the arm. Exhale out. And down. Now, from here, you could switch. Same thing, exhale through. Drop the back heel, exhale out. Remember, fully exhaling at the end of each of these moves, really building in the structure in that core. Down and switch. Or you can just do one side and then the other side. So if you have the time, we're just here. Or switching back and forth. The nice thing about the world's greatest stretch is that we're opening up your hip joints. We're curling and working the thoracic spine. We're getting that focus on breathing. It's really an amazing exercise to learn, which is why it's part of exercise number 2. From there, we move into side plank hip abduction. Oh yeah, super fun. So, this way you can only do right side, left side. So we start in a side plank, elbow down. I bring my knees in at 45 degrees. From there, what I'm doing is I'm using the pivot point between these two angles so that when I drive my hip forward, I raise up and down. Up and down. Now, if you're looking to be a little extra saucy with it, you can go up, driving this other leg up, and then back down. Up and down. Here, we're shooting for 10 to 12. World's greatest stretch. You'd be shooting anywhere from 10 to 12 as well. And if you're switching back and forth, be shooting for anywhere from like 14 to 20 of them. Other side. I'll show you from this angle so it makes some more sense. So we start straight, knees in at 45 degrees, and then once again using that pivot point, I drive my hip forward, that raises up my body, and then I come back down. Up, down, up, down. Whew. That one, that's a killer on the booty. From there, we do down dog toe touches. Now these are hard moves. Down dog toe touch is really complicated. It's a great way of expressing shoulder strength and getting in to lengthening those hamstrings and building out core strength. The move is we go into down dog, touch the opposite foot, and back. Touch and back. Variations are touching as far back as you can go, touching back, returning with one arm, releasing, touching back, returning with one arm, releasing, or if you're feeling really up for it, touching back, push up, touching back, push up. But the key here is going from plank to down dog. And if all you can do is do plank to down dog, then work on that motion. And then, if you can, toe touch. Whew. And then finally, you're going to line yourself in the long hallway, and you're going to do walking lunges, down, 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 and then if you can, back, 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 back. And the walking lunge, the keys here is that as you step and come down, you don't want your knee caving in. We want to be driving that knee out, making sure our feet are lined up with our hips, and shifting weight through. We don't want to be coming here coming down, all wiggly like. That's bad. We want to make sure that we're engaging our gluteus med, which is what you just did by doing the side planks, and getting these nice, stable walking lunges. That's number 2. Same thing as before. If you can only do 1 round of each move, do 1 round. It's world's greatest stretch, side plank hip abduction, and then down dog toe touches and walking lunges. Super solid routine, really good moves to learn, and it will kick your ass if you do it right. All right, see you on the next one. Oh yeah, guess who's back? Back again. The band's back. Tell a friend. So, we're starting out with upright rows, same as before with our banded deadlifts. We create 2 handles, and then what you want to do is get yourself nice and lined up, like so. Good to do this in front of a mirror, and then what you're doing is you're pulling in and down. Now as I'm pulling, what I'm feeling is I'm feeling it right here. I'm not feeling it up. I'm not feeling it anywhere down here. We're looking for it to be engaged right there in the small of the back. So change your angle, figure out what works, and then pull up, boom, and down. If the band folding in half is too much, what you can do is take it like this, make an X, and then find some slack, and then do pulls like so. A little less intense, but remember, you want to be having good muscle control over like sloppiness. The muscle is going to grow a lot more efficiently if it's just getting engaged and releasing tension. Getting engaged and releasing tension. From there, we go into overhead press. We take the band up here. See, it's just like right on my breastbones here. Slight bend and the legs, and then we go. You see I'm keeping my arms parallel to each other as I press up and down. Up and down. Now with this one, if you need to, get a little bit of a squat and then use the momentum of your legs to help get that band up. Whew. Well, bam. From there, we're doing step ups and calf raises. Step ups, probably one of the best exercises for your butt, which is why you're doing them. So you find yourself a chair or some kind of raised object. You want to make sure you're getting at least a 90-degree bend. And then we drive through and down. The controlled lower. This is the real meat and potatoes here. You want to push up, squeeze that butt at the top, drive that knee up, and come down. And with this one, 10 on one side, 10 on the other side. Then, or 12 or whatever it feels like. And then finally, we're doing a calf wall press. Here, I get my hands up against the wall. I walk back until I feel like I got a good extension and my heels are basically no longer on the ground. They might be here, they might be here, but we want to get to a point where we have this nice bend. Further away, the harder it is. And then all I'm doing is I'm pressing up and down, up and down. And with this one, we want to be shooting from anywhere between 15 to 20. It's deceptive, so you might do this, and then the next day be like, oh God, what happened? So watch yourself. I've definitely done that before. So maybe start with 10, and then see how it feels, see if you can ramp it up. When I first did this, I did like 4 sets of 25, and then it hurt to walk for a few days. And bam, that's round 3. Same as before with the amount of time, with reps and things. And next will be core. See you soon. All right, these are the tried and true core routines. Ooh. So we start out with the glute bridge. Now, a lot of people will do glute bridge and they just go, bah, 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 bah. That's not effective or efficient or really helpful in making anything grow. Because what the unique thing about the glute bridge is that we can work on pelvic tilt. So you want to curl the spine down, and then like you're sticking a piece of sticky paper down, travel down the spine, ending at the tailbone. Tailbone comes up, spine goes down. Just like that. So 10 of those. Then we move into either reverse tucks, coming in and out, or single leg raise. Or if you can, remember, keep your chest up, double leg raise. After that, we come and do our toe touches. Bop, bop, bop. If you can't touch your toes, you can only just get your hands up to your ankles. That's great, but you'll see the travel of my chest. That's what we're working on. And then finally, Russian twist. Russian twist is really effective with proper breath. So, if I always say for people when they're starting, start with your heels down, get the angle, shoulder blades back, exhale, touch right behind your glute, inhale, exhale, inhale. Now, once you have that rhythm down, what you can do is ramp it up a bit by keeping your feet together, legs up, and then same thing, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. And that right there is a solid core routine. Now for plank moves that are actually worth a damn, because I don't like all plank moves, but I do like some. We have either the plank march. With this one, I usually just count like to 30 marches or however long I can hold it for. From there, we have a step in, step out version of a plank. Ooh. And then there's always the limb raise, where you get everything a little wider, or at least your feet wider, and you raise up, 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 up. And of course there's always shoulder taps. Boom, 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 boom. And then, from there, we have side plank thread the needle, probably one of the best oblique exercises there is, either from the knee or from the foot. We get up into a side plank, we hinge through, inhale down, exhale up. Boom. Now, with these exercises for the core can be exercised 6 times a day or 6 times a week. It can take a beating. So you want to make sure that that is getting a lot of attention pretty consistently. So you can either do glute bridge, reverse, or leg raises, toe touches, and then Russian twists, or you can do plank variations, or find just something else online, or ask me to make other kinds of ab routines, because I got a ton of them. But you want to make sure that you're doing something for the core consistently, because this being anchored affects this, the whole body. Okay, well, that's what we got for this whole series. Hope you've enjoyed it, and we will catch you next time. Peace. Oh, wait. Peace. Oh, hopefully you're not British. Okay.